Well, hello everybody. Something new coming around. Decided to delve into some more inside pitch. I haven't done that in a little bit, so thought it was time to do so. Kind of break up the monotony of the Stratomatic 87 replay by doing inside pitch 1977 National League. It will not be every game because that's just going to take too long. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one game each calendar day and play that and try to get a variety of teams and try to find the best pitching matchups and so forth. So on April the 6th, it was the easy choice. It's the only game there, and that is Cincinnati and San Diego, the traditional opener at Riverfront Stadium. Again, this is 1977, not the best Reds year in the world, but got these 77 cards a while back, never used them. Figured now's a good time to do it. And I get to play with the pitchers hitting, so I get to do a little bit better managing, hopefully, or at least a little bit more managing. Woody Fryman is on the hill for Cincinnati, and Randy Jones will be on the hill for San Diego. This is not the Randy Jones of a couple of years. The previous year he was a Cy Young winner in '76, started the All-Star game. I think he won the Cy Young. I'm not sure if it's him or Tom Seaver, but one of them did. And I do know he started the All-Star game in '76. But in '77, I don't know if he had a holdout, if he had an injury, or what was happening, but he just had an off year. But we're going to go ahead and hello, Chuck. Good to see you. We're going to go ahead and get this game started and see if we can't have some fun. This is a game, like RJL says. I know it's a realistic game because I played a full season replay of the Nationals and the stats bear it out. Maybe not as tedious as Stratomatic with all the little intricacies, but there's enough here to make it an exciting game. One good thing about this game is all the players are carded, so I don't have to go try to print off any other cards. They're all here, and they have the nice team colors. So let's look at the starting lineup for San Diego. It is going to be Gene Richards, Mike Champion, Dave Winfield, George Hendrick, Gene Tennis, Mike Ivey, Doug Rader, Bill Allman, and Randy Jones. And for the Reds, Pete Rose, Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan, George Foster, Dave Concepcion, Dan Dreesen, Bill Plummer doing the catching. Bench is on the roster. He's just not starting. Don't know why. Geronimo in center, and Fryman is the pitcher. But Bench can pinch hit, I'm assuming. All right. Hello, Peter. Good to see you. So Woody Fryman is going to finish up the warm-up tosses. And here is Gene Richards, the leadoff man. And believe me, I got to remember how to play this game. It's been a little bit. Now, of course, watching RJL. Now, this is strictly version 3. I know they've come out with version 4 stuff and done some tweaks to it, but I don't buy into that. So I'm strictly version 3 guy. Got my original version 3 charts right here, and that's what I'm going by. So if you see something that you think to yourself, oh, version 4, they updated it to be this, it's irrelevant because I'm not worried about version 4. I'm stuck on version 3. That's where I like to be. I think there's nothing wrong with version 3. They should have left it alone. But that's just my opinion. So let's get this sucker underway. This game was played April the 6th, 1977. Woody Fryman, the lefty, facing Gene Richards, and we're underway. That's a 3-1. I'm using the red die as the column and the white die as the row, in case you're curious. So 3-1 is a blank. So Woody Fryman has a right off the bat. Go to Gene Richards, and that's a 3-6. It's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Dreesen, and there's one away. This is a no-frill setup, no accoutrements whatsoever, just the score sheet, the cards, and the dice. All right, so that's going to bring up Mike Champion, second baseman. 6-1, that's a range play at the park. So here we are at Riverfront Stadium with a range play at Riverfront Stadium. So we go to Riverfront Stadium, check a range play. It's a 3-3. That's actually going to be a rare play, so it's going to override the range play. So we're going to a rare play with bases empty. Rare play, bases empty. So we got the rare play chart, bases empty right here. See what happens. We get a 25. And that says first baseman goes into hole to make the play and hurts himself on the play. Resolve play as a G3 range play and check for injury. I am doing injuries for game-only situations. So Dreesen could get injured on the play, but first we're checking his range. The range on Dreesen is a 3. So he has to have a 1, 2, or 3 to make this play. And he does. So he ends up flipping to Fryman covering for the out. 3-1. But now we're going to check an injury on Dreesen. He has an injury check coming up, does Dreesen. So we'll get Dreesen's card and look at his injury rating. His injury rating is a 1. So on the injury chart, under the number 1, if you roll a 1 or a 2, he stays in the game. Anything else, he's got to come out. 1 or 2, he stays in the game. 3 through 6, he has to leave. So he has to leave. So Dan Dreesen will have to leave this ball game as he pulled something or tweaked something, ranging to his right to make that play in the hole and throw out Mike Champion. But before he even has him one at bat, Dreesen will be lifted, and the Reds will need a new hitter, or a new first baseman, rather. These are the bench players available on the opening day roster for Cincinnati: Ed Armbrister, Bob Bailey, Johnny Bench, Doug Flynn, Champ Summers, Ray Knight, and Mike Lum. So those are the available players. Lum is a possible choice to play at first base. He could play at first base. Johnny Bench could play at first base. Bob Bailey could play at first base against the left-hander. So I think they're going to go with Bob Bailey since he's a righty, even though his card is cookie cutter. We're going to try to be as realistic as possible. So Bailey will take over for the injured Dan Dreesen. So Dreesen will have to leave due to the injury, and Bob Bailey will take his spot at first base. Bob Bailey's ratings, he's a 2 and a 14, and he runs at a 2. So right off the bat, Bob Bailey will take over as the first baseman. But there's 2 outs, nobody on for Dave Winfield. A very young Dave Winfield. That's a 1-2, and that's a walk plus, and that will, with the 2 there, it's definitely going to be a base on balls to Winfield. And we get our first strategy roll of the game, see if Winfield can get the lead. He has an attempt of 3. Fryman doesn't change that. That's a 15. He does not get the jump, so he will hold. And that'll send us to George Hendrick, the center fielder. We get a 4-3, and that's another walk plus. He walks at a 12. Stadium adds even 2 to that to make it a 14. The plus is a 24, so the 18 fits. And we have back-to-back base on balls to Winfield and Hendrick. And now 2 are on, 2 out. Clutch situation for Gene Tennis. Oh, nothing, Utah Mike. That's a Saturday thing, every Saturday. This is just basically taking the place of the History Maker baseball because I just wasn't getting, people weren't interested enough in it to continue it. So I may do it offline on my own, but for now it's on hiatus. Hello, Brian B. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking 1977 and inside pitch, playing a game of the day. Game of the day. So on April 6th, it's this game here. The next game on April 7th will be St. Louis at Pittsburgh. It's all National League, and I'm just going to take a different game each day and play it through the whole season. So I'm going to end up playing 162 games, basically. No, you won't, Brian. You won't see any real opening. You won't see anything real over there at all, basically. All right, so strategy roll. That's a 1, but I don't think Winfield's going to be able to steal third. Nah, I'm not going to. He's not going to steal third. He's already in scoring position, so why bother? So Fryman to Tennis. That's a 2-4. That's a possible error. Possible error. So we'll see who the error is on. It is a 4-4. That's a ground ball to short. We're checking Concepcion. His error rating is a 4. That is a 5. So Concepcion will make the play, barely. But we're going to say with 2 outs, it doesn't matter. He's going to throw it to first and end the inning. Not keeping any kind of fielding stats or anything like that. This is just game of the day, and then I'm letting the Strat computer sim everything else. So, but we're just doing it just to for video purposes for a game of the day. So nothing doing for the Padres. They get 2 walks, nothing else. And Randy Jones will step to the plate, or step to the mound, rather, for the Padres. And he'll be facing Pete Rose. Charlie Hustle. 2-2 is a blank on Randy Jones, so we go to Pete Rose. And we get a 3-1. It's a ground ball to short. Taken care of by the shortstop, Bill Allman. And there's one away. That'll bring up Ken Griffey, and this, of course, this Reds team in 78, not nearly as good as, in 77, not nearly as good as they were in 76. Of course, losing Tony Perez took a big bite out of him as well. 5-1, that's a range play, so we're going to Griffey for a range play. That's a 6-2, it's a fly to center. We're checking the center fielder, George Hendrick. He is a 4. So Hendrick needs a 4 or less to make this play. And he does. So Hendrick chases it down in center field. Retires Griffey. 2 down for little Joe Morgan. Boy, given a tough defensive rating there with a 2 on his range. So Morgan stepping to the plate against Randy Jones. 5-6, and that is a strikeout chance. That's a 19, too high. Go to Mr. Morgan. 6-6, and that's a pop-up to second to end the inning. Trying to get back in the swing of doing inside pitch. I haven't done it in a while. In fact, I haven't done it since I did the 1979 World Series, and that was more than a minute ago. So no score after 1. And that'll bring up Mike Ivy to lead it off. John Denny against Jerry Royce will be the next game in this replay on April the 7th. As the Cardinals visit Three Rivers to take on the Pirates. 3-5, and that's a strikeout chance. That's a 3, so he got him. And Mike Ivy out on strikes. That'll bring up Doug Rader in his Toronto uniform. 1-2, that's a walk plus, and yet another walk issued by Fryman. His 3rd of the game. He walked 43 in 75 innings. An attempt of 1 for Raiders, so probably not going to get a jump. He does not. So that'll bring up Billy Allman, shortstop. Infield is halfway for the double play. 4-3 is another walk plus. He just walked another one. Woody Fryman just is finding these walk pluses like crazy. So first and second, 1 out. Randy Jones, a 4 bunter. Even though there's already 1 out, it might be prudent to bunt anyway. But we'll roll and make sure there's no pickoff or anything like that. Nothing going on. We get a 5-5, and that's a strike. Oh, actually, he's a right-handed hitter, even though he's a left-handed pitcher. So that's actually a blank. So there won't be a strikeout to worry about. We're going straight to the bunt. He's a 4, but of course the Reds are expecting it. Makes him a 3. And on a 3, he basically needs a 1 to 12 to have a good bunt. Anything else is questionable. But a 1 to 12 gets him a good bunt. That's a 19. That's questionable. First of all, I got to see who fielded it. That's one thing from being rusty. So that's a 1, which means it's going back to the pitcher, Fryman. But that's a 19. A 3 and a 19 is a ground ball double play. Bunt it too hard, proceed as you would for a double play. So it's a potential double play. But it does go back to the pitcher. So you take away 1 for going back to the pitcher. Double play rating of Jones is a 0. So there's really no way to get the double play. We'll see what happens as far as it's a 6, actually. So the runners are going to advance. So it's a good sacrifice for Randy Jones. It's going to go 1 to 4 is the only play Fryman had was to the first base bag to the second baseman Morgan, who was covering. 2 down, 2 on. Clutch situation for Gene Richards. Richards, nothing on the strategy roll. Richards grounded to first his first time up. That's back when Dreesen was in the game before he got hurt. 4-3, it's another walk plus, but this is an 18. It's still going to be a walk plus. 11 plus 2 is a 13, the plus of 23, so it's going to fit. And that is the 5th walk issued by Woody Fryman in 2 innings. little bit ridiculous there with all the walks. But we hit this 4-3 several times. So here's Mike Champion. Bases are loaded. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. 3-4, and that's a strikeout chance against the righty. That's a 3. He struck him out. And that's going to end the inning. So the Padres leave them loaded. 5 walks so far issued by Fryman, and he's gotten 2 strikeouts. So nothing doing for the Pods. We go to the bottom of the second, and it'll be Foster, Concepcion, and Bailey who took over for the injured Dan Dreesen. So George Foster. Hello, Johnny. It is a fun game. Oh, you know what? I rolled a 20, didn't I? I sure did. See, I tell you, I gotta get used. I'm when you haven't played the game in a while, you miss some of the intricacies. Thank you for alerting me to that, Brian. Too late now to worry about it, but good for future reference for sure. Jones, 5-1, range play. We go to George Foster. 5-3, that's a star 5, which is a ground ball to second. We're doing a range play of the second baseman champion. He's only a 1. So unless this is a 1, Foster gets himself a base hit. And he does. So George Foster, leadoff single. And his attempt is a 1, but the -1 from Jones makes that impossible. So he cannot get the lead. We'll check for pickoffs or balks, and there's nothing happening. So Foster's on first base with nobody out for Dave Concepcion. Yeah, Fryman on a 20 doesn't have anything down here. You were correct, Phoenix. But I do need to be checking for it, so you're both correct. Jones, 4-6, that's a blank. We go to Concepcion. 4-5, and that's a split chance on a 4-5. Against the lefty, it's a single pass short. How about that? Foster runs at a 4, single pass short. To get to third base, you got to have a 5, so he does not have it. So he will stop at second base. So runners at first and second, nobody out. And now Bob Bailey stepping to the plate. Bailey. 3-6 from Jones is a blank to a right-hander. So we'll go to Bailey. 1-6, it's a star 5. It's a ground ball to third. Possible double play, but we have to see where it's hit. Is it hit in the hole? Is it hit down the line? Or, what exactly, or where is it hit? So 1D6 tells us on a 6, on a ground ball to third, and it says it right here, on a 5 or a 6, it's in the hole. Double play chance will be second to first. That's the double play opportunity because it went into the hole. Bailey's double play is a 2. The infield was halfway, makes him a 3. Nothing added for Randy Jones. The pivot at short, Allman, is a 0. So it's a 1-3 for a double play. It's a 6, so runners are going to advance. It's a moot point. So the out's going to go 5-3 as the only play was to first base. And now runners at second and third, only 1 out for Bill Plummer. And the infield's going to come in against Plummer. They're going to bring the infield in. Try to choke the runoff. 1-6 is a blank on Randy Jones. We go to Plummer. 1-5 is a pop-up to third. How about that? Couldn't get it out of the infield. 2 down, and they're going to intentionally walk Cesar Geronimo. They're not even going to mess around there. They will walk Geronimo intentionally and pitch to Fryman. Fryman was a .318 hitter, though. So, but you obviously playing the percentages here. You don't know that in advance. You're going to pitch to the pitcher. Hello, Kenyon. Bases loaded. 2 outs. And here's Fryman. 5-4. That's a home run question mark. He's a righty. 1-19. It passes, but Fryman has a 0 home run rating, so it's just a blank. Go to Fryman. 6-4. It's a single to left field. How about that? They walk the Geronimo and give up a single to the pitcher Fryman. Single to left field. Left fielder Arm Richards is a -1, but there are 2 outs. Foster will score from third. Now at second base is Concepcion. He runs at a 4 with 2 outs, makes him a 5. but the -1 here makes him a 4. And from score from second on a single to left, you add 1, so it's back to a 5. So 1 to 5, and Concepcion will score. And he does. So Concepcion scores. And it's runner, and Geronimo will stop at, with the 3 there, he will stop at second base with the ball hit to left field. First to third going to left on a single to left, first to third. You lose 2, so it drops him to a 1. And then the -1 from Richards makes him a 0. So even with 2 outs, it's not going to get there. So, but it's a 2-run single from Woody Fryman. How about that? I don't know if I sound better or not. I feel a little bit better, but still, it's not. I'm not where I want to be. But at least, thank goodness, I'm not where I used to be. Tonight, we will be in Kansas City for the Stratomatic 1987 regular scheduled Stratomatic game. Toronto and Kansas City. That's another one of the Cinco de Mayo games. That'll be tonight around 8:30ish, sometime in there. Not sure. Saturday afternoon, of course, is the NBC game of the week in season ticket baseball. And that will be the Reds again in Shea Stadium against that's 1978 season ticket. So Pete Rose is up with 2 on, 2 out, 2 runs in. Rose grounded to short his first time up, 4-3, and that's a blank. So we go to Rose to complete the at-bat. And we get a 1-6, and that's a question mark 7. Power result to left field. It goes to 12. That's a 17, though, so it's just a deep fly to left to end the inning. But the Reds pick up 2 runs. The penmanship is not very good. Pick up 2 runs, take a 2-0 lead after 2 from Riverfront Stadium. And start the third, it'll be Dave Winfield. He walked his first trip. Let's see if I can make a better looking 2 than that. There's not a very good looking 2 there. I can do a little bit better with the 2. Okay, that's a tiny bit better, I guess. Yeah, Chuck, the games have been have been blowouts, so I haven't been happy with it. I'm hoping this one coming up will be a little bit better. Hello, Triple G, good to see you. All right, here is Winfield against Fryman. That's a 6-3, and that's a straight-up home run chance to a right-handed batter. He's a 17. That's a 10. It's gone. Dave Winfield cracks a home run against Woody Fryman. Look at it again. 6-3. Split chance against righties as a home run. Go right over here. 17 against lefties. That's a 10. Home run, Dave Winfield. Cuts the lead in half with 1 swing of the bat. Dave Winfield. Probably won't amount to much, but at least has a home run here in San Diego. But who knows what his career is going to bring. Here's George Hendrick. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. 3-3. It's a blank because he's not tired. Go to Hendrick. 3-4, and that's a split chance against a lefty pitcher. That's a single pass short. It would have been a ground out to short to a righty. But against a lefty, Hendrick gets the base hit. So Hendrick is aboard. His attempt to get the lead is a 2. And there is no play there. He will hold, and here comes Gene Tennis. 4-5, and that's going to be a hit by pitch chance. He's a +3. The hit by pitch here is a 16. That makes it a 19, so Tennis gets plunked. How about that? A home run, a single, and now a hit by pitch. And the Padres have 2 on with nobody out and 1 already in. And the dangerous Mike Ivy at the plate. 5-5, and that is a blank to a righty. Go to Ivy. 3-4, and that's another split chance. This time, though, it's the opposite. It's going to be a ground ball to third instead of a single to third on that 3-4. So ground ball to third, and again, we're in the same situation. Runners at first and second. We have to see where it's hit. It is a 2. So on a 2, it's toward the line. If it's a double play, if double play or force, it would go 5-3. So we're not. There's no pivot involved because the second baseman is not going to be involved whatsoever. Double play rating on Ivy is a 2. Nothing from Fryman. Halfway makes him a 3. 1 to 3, it's a double play. It is a double play, so it's going to go 5 unassisted as he steps on the bag, and then throws Ivy out 5 to 3 to complete the double play. Tennis will go to second base, but now there are 2 outs. So a 5 unassisted 5-3 double play turned by Mr. Peter Rose. Pete Rose turns the double play. 2 down now. Runner in scoring position for Doug Rader, who will later get traded to Toronto. 1-4, and that's a ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium for the ballpark card. Last time we went here, we got a rare play. This time, 6-5 is a home run to the pull side. His home run rating's a 13. That's a 9. It's gone. Doug Rader, a 2-run bomb. Look at it again, 6-5 home run to the pull side. His home run's a 13. That's a 9. It's gone. 2-run home run for Doug Rader. And the Padres now take a 3-2 lead on Woody Fryman and the Reds here in the top of the third. Thank goodness for the double play for the Reds, or it would have been a lot worse. 3-2 Padres, and here is Billy Almond. 2 outs, bases clear. 5-5, that's a blank to a right-hander. 3-3 is a ground ball to Rose at third, and that will end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Padres, and we go to the bottom of the third. It's San Diego 3 and the Reds 2. So what I will do is when this game is over, I will input this score sheet manually into the Stratomatic computer so that this game is recorded as it's played on Inside Pitch. However, the other games that aren't being played on video will be simmed by the Stratomatic computer. But I will input this manually. All right, here is Ken Griffey. 2-4, and that's a walk chance. That's a 15. That's too much. He walks at a 10. Stadium has 2, but it's only a 12, so the 15's too high. Go to Griffey to finish. 4-6, ground ball to second. Champion throws him out, 1 away. And I have, since I've just in this few innings of playing this game, I'm starting to remember how fun this game was, so and is. So glad I put it back in the rotation because it is a fun game, and it's pretty much realistic. Like I said, my only 2 complaints in the game at all on the basic version 3 is the cookie cutter cards for the extreme splits, and the guys like Doug Rader, to me, should have a card on both teams. He should be carded for both teams. Or if you want to keep his whole stats, give him 1 card in Toronto colors and 1 card in San Diego colors, so that we have a uniformity in the game without these oddball colors. But that and the extreme left to right splits guys that aren't coded for splits, those are my only 2 gripes in the whole game. Everything else I love about the game. Hello, Tom. Didn't see you sneak in there. Good to see you. All right, so Joe Morgan at the plate. Little Joe. 2-4, and that's another walk chance, and this time he will walk. Joe Morgan draws the base on balls. Let's see if he can get the lead. His attempt is a 5. -1 from Jones is a 4. No, cannot get the lead. So Morgan will hold, and that brings up George Foster. Foster, Australian, for home run. 3-6 is a blank. We go to Foster. 3-6 again, single to third base. How about that? Rader couldn't get it. On an S5, the only way you get to third base is if you're a 6 base runner, and Morgan's only a 3, so he will hold at second base. But runners at first and second with 1 out for Dave Concepcion, in my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame. You can't tell me he's not better than Pee Wee Reese and Phil Rizzuto. I refuse to believe that. Here's Jones. 1-1 is a blank. Here's Concepcion, 2-1. Ground ball to third. Another chance for a double play again, but we've got to see where it's hit. It's a 2, so it's going to be down the line again. The only play is a force play or a double play. So Concepcion's a 2. Halfway is a 3, and that's it. 1 to 3 is a double play. It's a 4, so they can't get the double play. They will get the force. So Rader just steps on the bag, 5 unassisted on a fielder's choice. Foster will go to second, and safe at first base is Concepcion, but now there are 2 outs. 2 outs, 2 on. And the batter now is Bailey. Came in for the injured Dreesen in the first inning. Jones, 6-5. That's a possible error on a ground ball. See what Bailey does. 2-2. That's a star. 1 is a ground ball to third. That's an 11. Let's check Rader. Rader's error rating is an 8, so he will make the play. He will not make an error. He will make the play. Since it's already 2 outs, we'll just say he throws to first to end the inning. So the Reds have opportunities, but do not cash in. We go to the 4th. Still San Diego 3 and Cincinnati 2. Due up for the Padres will be the pitcher, Randy Jones. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. All right, 3-5 for Fryman. And that's going to be a strikeout chance, 12. Obviously, with the pitcher up, that's almost guaranteed. And Jones is out of there. That's the 3rd strikeout for Fryman to go with his 5 walks. So here's Richards. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. 5-2, wild pitch, ball 1. Now, the new rules say you skip this and treat it as a blank and go here. I'm not doing that. To me, this is ball 1, and we're going to re-roll in the pitcher card. 4-5, and that's a hit by pitch chance. He's a 2, plus 3 is a 5, but that's an 11, so no hit by pitch. Now we're going to Richards' card. 1-3, and it's a star 4, and that will be a ground ball to second, Joe Morgan. We'll throw Richards out. 2 down for Mike Champion. 4-4, and that is going to be a walk plus to a right-handed hitter. So his 6th walk of the game from Woody Fryman. That's his 6th base on balls he has issued. To get the lead, Champion needs a 1. That's a 20, but there's nothing here. So there is no pickoff chance. But we did roll a 20, but there's no pickoff balk or pickoff error to worry about, so we just drive on. Here's Winfield. He homered his last time up. 6-2 is a strikeout chance. 17, though, is too high. We go to Winfield to finish. 6-5. That's a single to right field for Winfield. See if Champion can take third base. Single to right field, you gain 2. So Champion was a 3, becomes a 5. With 2 outs, becomes a 6. Right fielder Arm Griffey is a +1, so he makes it to third automatically. No throw even necessary. So now runners are on the corners. Jeremiah, if you still had this game and you want to retry it again, I highly encourage you to do so. All right, so runners at first and third, 2 outs. Winfield, an attempt to steal to get the lead, is a 3. He cannot get the lead, so he will hold. And we'll turn it over to George Hendrick. Runners at the corners, 2 down. 4-1, and that is a strikeout chance, 9. He is a 7, though. Stadium doesn't help him any, so he will not strike out. And that'll bring up Hendrick. 4-5, and that is a single to right field. So that will score Champion to make it a 4-2 Padre lead. Winfield will automatically get third base based on his ratings. Single to right, you add 2, and then the +1 for 2 outs makes him a 7. Griffey's already a +1, makes him an 8. So he gets there without a throw. It's now 4-2, and now the Reds' bullpen is starting to loosen. Fryman is scheduled to bat third next inning. They'd love to get this last out, But either way, they can't afford to go much longer. So bullpen activity for the Reds, and they will be looking at Dale Murray, I believe. Dale Murray, a right-hander. Dale Murray is loosening in the bullpen, but they would like to have him start the fifth and not have to come in here. But you can't let the game get away from you either. All right, Hendrick, an attempt to steal is a 2. That's a 3. We're not doing any hit and runs or anything with 2 outs. So Gene Tennis is your batter. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And all this started with an innocent 2-out walk to Champion. Then all heck broke loose. 4-4 for Fryman. Back to that walk plus again. But this is a 20, but it doesn't matter. Look at the walks Tennis has. He will draw the base on balls, and that will load the bases again. 7th walk for Woody Fryman. And Mike Ivy is your batter. And I'm telling you what, good thing RJL isn't here right now because we're about to see a double switch, folks. We are about to see a double switch. Fryman's coming out of there. They can't take Fryman anymore. He's out of there. They were trying to get him through the inning to get that last out, but he just couldn't make it happen. Dale Murray is going to be coming in to pitch, but we're going to have a new player coming in, probably at first base again, because that was the last position. So we're looking at another guy that can play first base, and it's going to be boy, they don't have anybody that can play first base well, that's for sure. Not that Bailey does it either, but these other guys are worse. Boy, maybe I don't want to take anybody else out either. That's the problem. Well, don't know how realistic it is. We're going to bring in Johnny Bench to play first base. So Johnny Bench will be your first baseman, and he will bat 9th. Bench will bat in the 9th position playing first base. The pitcher spot will go here in the number 6 position, and that will be Murray. Bench at first base is a 3, but he's guaranteed to make an error with a 20. Runs at a 2. So Bench will be the 3rd hitter of the inning, and leaving this game is Bob Bailey. So he didn't stay long. He came in for the injured Dreesen, then came right back out a couple innings later. But Murray is in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And like I said, good thing RJL is not watching, or if he's lurking, maybe he's barfing because of the double switch. I don't know. He was on the active roster, Brian. He certainly was. I don't know if he played or not, but he was on the active roster. And he did start like 2 or 3 games in. So he was on the active roster. He may have just been dinged up, so not going to catch him, but playing first base, less wear and tear, so that's a little bit more realistic, I think. Murray, 6-6, strikeout chance, and that's a 1. I know it's scraped out there, but that is a 1. So he struck him out to get out of the inning. So what a great managerial move. You won't see that on the other channel. You won't see that at all on the other channel. Strikeout ends the inning. It's 4-2 Padres, but at least the Reds are still in the game. That other channel would have left Fryman in there to give up 8 runs and then finally taken him out when he got tired. We don't play checkers here. We play chess. So it's where the big boys hang out. It's where the big boys hang out and when only division winners make the playoffs. This is not hockey. But he can do what he wants. That's the whole point. That's why I say play the game you want to play the way you want to play it. Here's Plummer, 1-4. Well, first Randy Jones strikeout, 6 rather, and he will strike out Bill Plummer. 1 away, and that will bring up Cesar Geronimo. He was intentionally walked his first time. 4-5 is a range play, so we're going to Geronimo for the range check. 4-5 again, ground ball to short. We're checking the range of Allman. He is a 3. So 3 for Allman to get to this, 1, 2, or 3. And he cannot get to it. It's going to be a base hit for Geronimo. So Geronimo is aboard to get the lead, needs a 1. Cannot get it. He will hold, and here comes Johnny Bench. You got it right, Colin. 3-6. That's a blank to the right-hander Bench. 4-2. That's a power result to left. It goes to 10. That's a 13, so it's just a deep fly to left. 2 down. And that'll bring up Pete Rose. Just to clarify, RJL does a wonderful job in inside pitch, and it's very entertaining. But we just play 2 different styles, that's all. And neither one is wrong. So here's Jones. 6-1 is a blank. We go to Pete Rose. 6-1 again. That's a star 5. It's ground ball to third. And since there's already 2 outs, we'll just throw it to first to end the inning. But we do like to kind of rib between ourselves. We like to kind of rib each other a little bit. So nothing wrong with that. Just good, clean fun. No hard feelings on either side. Just good, clean fun. That's all. All right. So we're going to the 5th. And Dale Murray back out. He's only faced 1 batter. He struck out Mike Ivey. And here comes Doug Rader in his Toronto uniform. Homered his last time up, as a matter of fact. "4-5 from Murray is a home run to a lefty, but a righty is a blank. So go to Rader. 1-5, ground ball to short, Concepcion. Handles it, no issues. And here comes Billy Allman. 5-1 is a blank. Allman, 2-1, ground ball to third. 2 down for Randy Jones. So Murray bringing a little stability to the pitching staff. 3-5, that is a blank. We go to Randy Jones. 4-6, that's a single to center field for Randy Jones. How about that? A 2-out single for Randy Jones. Did he steal a base? He's got an attempt of 3. That's kind of weird for a pitcher to have an attempt of 3. -2 from Murray. So that's a 20, though. So now we got a chance of a balk, a pickoff, or a pickoff error because we rolled a 20. And that's a 13, so that's a pickoff error. So Randy Jones dancing around forces a pickoff error, and that's going to be an E1. Going to move Randy Jones to second base. How about that? Force the error on Dale Murray. Murray got a little flustered. Probably shouldn't have been worried about a pitcher on first base with 2 outs, but he was, and he threw the ball away. All right, here is Gene Richards. 4-2. That's a walk chance. That's a 15. He only walks at a 9. Stadium adds 2. Not enough. So Richards will swing. 5-5. Ground ball back to the pitcher, Murray, to end the inning. So nothing doing for San Diego here in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still a 4-2 ball game. Still a 4-2 ball game. And Ken Griffey is your leadoff man. How does everyone like to set up this basic setup? Is this sufficient enough? Can you see as much information as you need to see, or would you rather me bring the board game out like RJL has and add the base runners going around the field and all that stuff? All right, here is Randy Jones to Griffey. 2-6, and that's a blank. Griffey, 6-4, ground ball to short, 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Mr. Joe Morgan. Oh, yeah, the bench is in the bullpen. Yeah. Doing this every day, that's a lot of paper to print out, so. All right, so Morgan is up. 4-2 for Jones is a blank. We go to Morgan. 2-6, ground ball to second. So 2 quick ground outs, and that brings up George Foster. He's 2 for 2. 4-1, range play at the park, Riverfront Stadium. Range play for Riverfront Stadium. 3-6, and that's a double to right field, but it's a range check on Winfield. He's a 5. So anything other than a 6, and that double is erased by Winfield. And he erases it. And he needed a full 5 as well. So he robs Foster of a double. But Winfield bucking for player of the game here. A home run and a nice defensive play. At the end of 5, it's 4-2. Murray can face 7 batters. He's faced 5, so he's got a couple more batters before he's tired. He is scheduled to bat second next inning, so they would like to get him through this inning, if possible, as long as he doesn't struggle. Here's Champion to lead off the 6th. 1-1, possible error on a throw. Go to Champion. 5-3, that's a single to left, no throw to worry about, just straight out single for Champion. His first hit of the game. Strategy rolls are still on. He's a 1, but the -2 from Murray takes that away. We'll roll and see if we get a 20 to check anything here. There's nothing there. Here's Winfield. He has walked, homered, and singled. 1-5, that's a range play at the park again. We're going back to Riverfront for a range play. 6-5, that's a home run to the pull side. That's an 18, and he just misses it. 16, that fails, but it is a range play for the left fielder. Range play for Foster. He's a 4. If he doesn't get this, it'll be a double. It's a 1-4 for George Foster. He needs a 1-4 to make the catch. And he does, and he turns the tables on Winfield, who robbed him of a double in the previous inning. He just robbed Winfield of a double himself. So tit for tat is what Foster's saying to Winfield as Winfield goes back to the dugout. 1 away, and here comes George Hendrick. 5-1 is a blank. We go to Hendrick. 4-3, that's a power result to center. It only goes to 5, though, but that is a 5. That's a triple for George Hendrick. Look at that. 4-3 is a power result to center. It goes to 5. That is a 5. It's a triple for George Hendrick. RBI triple, and now Murray is tired. Murray is fatigued. It is now 5-2 San Diego. Now, and a fatigued hit will produce another run. So I think the Reds are going to bring in a new pitcher just to get through the inning. There will not be a double switch. They're just going to bring in somebody to get through this inning. They just want to get through the inning and get out. So let's see who they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Raleigh Eastwick, who will get traded to the Cardinals later on. But at least he's got the same red color as the Reds do. So Raleigh Eastwick. Raleigh Witches of Eastwick, or East of Eastwick, whatever that show was or movie was. He's going to be on. The infield is in. 1 out, runner on third. You got to bring the infield in. Gene Tennis is your batter. Tennis has been hit by a pitch. He's walked and he's grounded to short. Nothing on the havoc. Infield is in. 3-4, and that is a blank. We go to Tennis. 4-1, single pass short. Doesn't matter where the infield was. It's a base hit. That run is charged to Murray. Close the book on Murray now as he gives up 2 runs. And it's now 6-2 San Diego. No attempt for Tennis, but we will check for pickoffs. There is none. Here's Mike Ivy. 2-1, and that's a blank. 1-1, star 4. That's a ground ball to short. Possible double play. He's a 2. Pitcher doesn't add anything. Halfway is a 3. The pivot Morgan's a +1, makes it a 4. So 1-4, and we got a double play. And we do. So it's going to go 6-4-3. Double play, pitcher's best friend. But 2 more runs come in for the Padres, and they take a 6-2 lead. That's going to be all for Eastwick. He did what they asked him to do. Pedro Borbon will come in and pitch the top of the 7th. Actually, it will not be Pedro Borbon. It will be Mike Caldwell, who's in his Brewer uniform. Mike Caldwell will be coming on to pitch in the top of the 7th. But right now, it will be Jones facing Concepcion, a pinch hitter for the pitcher, and then Plummer. So the pinch hitter for the Reds will be, it could go to Ray Knight, could go to Ed Armbrister. I think they'll go to Ray Knight. So Ray Knight will get the pinch hitting call. But first things first, Concepcion will get the first crack at it. Randy Jones has a fatigue of 25. He has faced 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is batter 23, so can I keep an eye on him? He will reach fatigue this inning. Morgan's a +1. Unless I wrote it down wrong on the card. He's a +1. Morgan is a +1. I know my little minus sign. The plus may not show up very well, but that is a +1. Morgan is a +1 on the pivot. All right. So Concepcion will lead off against Randy Jones. 1-1, and that's a blank. We go to Concepcion. 4-5, and that is a split chance. Against the lefty, it's a base hit. So Concepcion, a leadoff single, and now Ray Knight, the batter. Let's see, it's a 4. There's strategy rolls are still on, 1-4. Cannot get the lead. So now the pinch hitter Ray Knight steps to the plate. Ray, I dub thee Knight. That's what Chris Berman used to call him. 4-2, and that is a blank. We go to Knight. 1-6, that's a single to right field. Single to right field. Concepcion is a 4. Single to right, you add 2, makes him a 6. Winfield is a -2, makes him a 4. 1-4, he'll make it. That's a 6. Could be trouble. This is the one part of the game that gets people in trouble in inside pitch, and since I haven't done it in a while, I got to make sure I'm doing it correct too, and hopefully you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this. Winfield is a arm of -2. So on this throw chart, we look at the -2, and if I roll a 1-5, we go to this third throw chart. If I roll a 6, that means a runner holds. Hopefully that's correct. That's a 3. So we're going to this other chart here, the number 3 chart. And if we roll a 1, lead runner advances. 2 through 5 is going to be out. 6. So that means lead runner advances. There is no cutoff because there's nobody on. Let's see. Knight was the hitter. So it says here, lead runner advances, ball cut off, trailing runner. The hitter can be considered the trailing runner if no other runners are on. So the hitter is the trailing runner. So it says here, he's caught in a rundown. So now we go to the rundown chart for Ray Knight. His speed, his BR is a 2. Hopefully I'm doing this right. If somebody could make sure I'm doing it right, that would be great. So cut off on the trail runner, which is the batter in this case, Ray Knight. He's a 2. So if we roll a 1, he's out quickly, no other advance. Roll a 6, he gets under the tag. 2 through 5, he's going to be out. That's a 2, so he's going to be out. So Ray Knight is going to be out in a rundown. Concepcion will make third. And down by the score they were, they probably should have been playing station to station. So we have to make up what the cutoff's going to be. It's going to be 9. We'll call it 9 to 4 to 6, maybe. I'll just make up something that sounds realistic. It doesn't really matter at this point. So Ray Knight got the pinch hit, but then he had a blunder on the base pass. Concepcion does make third. Hello, Justin. Good to see you. Thank you for the affirmations. You and Brian both on that. All right, so runner at third, one out, infield back. They don't care about this run. Here is Plummer. That's a 20. So Randy Jones, 1-4 is a balk, 5-20 is a pickoff. Boy, they could, if they pick Concepcion off a third, that's going to be something else. And that's exactly what they do. They pick him off third base. Now, what RJL does is says it's the catcher that throws down to third. So that would be a 2-5 pickoff. But would you do a 1-5 pickoff or a 2-5 pickoff is the question. I'm going to say I'll do like RJL. I'll defer to him. And we'll say Tennis, it's ball one. Tennis caught the ball and throws down to Concepcion, got caught flat-footed, and he is out. So some bad base running by the Reds. Bad base running by the Reds. Got 2 hits and they got 2 outs. Nothing to show for it, especially when you're down by 4 runs. 3-1 is a ballpark card, so we're going to Riverfront for the at-bat of Plummer. That's a 5-6. It's a ground ball to third. It's going to end the inning. And now Randy Jones has reached fatigue, and I think they're going to cap him there at 6 innings. He's going to go 6 innings and allow just 2 runs. He's in line for the win. Reds will bring in Caldwell to pitch. Jones is scheduled to bat third, so they will pinch hit for him. So we will get a pinch hitter for San Diego and a new pitcher as well. So go to the top of the 7th. With Caldwell being a left-handed pitcher, they will go to Merv Retman as a pinch hitter. So Retman will be the pinch hitter for Randy Jones. And then the Padres will need a new pitcher in the 7th. So Merv Retman will do the pinch hitting. But first, it's going to be Rader and Allman. Then Retman to face Mike Caldwell. Mike Caldwell, who grew to more claim to fame with the Brewers, especially as a Yankee killer. That was his claim to fame, was he was always known as the Yankee killer. Here's Rader. 2-2, strikeout for Gotti. Caldwell puts the K on Rader. 1 down for Allman. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's a 3-4, and that's a blank. We go to Allman. 5-6, that's a single pass short. Base hit for Allman. Strategy rolls are now off because of the score. So Allman will just stay there. And Merv Retman, the pinch hitter, steps to the plate. 286 on the season. One 3, and that's a blank. 3-3, and that's a power result to right field rather. It goes to 11. That's a 10. It's a double for Merv Retman, a double to right field for Merv Retman. Allman runs at a 4 on a double to right. You lose 1, so that makes him a 3. But the right fielder Griffey is a +1, brings him back to a 4. So 1-4, he's going to score. And he does. Allman comes in on the RBI pinch hit double by Merv Retman. You don't see good pinch hitting moves like that on the other channel, that's for sure. All right, so Retman is aboard, won a double. And that'll send up Gene Richards. I'm sorry, no strategy roll. Don't need a strategy roll. Caldwell to Richards, 6-1, possible error. Go to Richards, 4-1. That's a ground ball to second, but that's a 20. And on a 20, no error is going to be made, but Retman will take third on the ground ball to second. 2 down, and runner now at third base in Retman. And that brings up Mike Champion. 7-2 Padres after the Reds got spotted a 2-run lead in the second. 1-6 is a range play at the park, going to Riverfront Stadium for a range play. 5-2, and that's a fly to right field, so we're looking at a range check of Griffey. He's a 3. 1-3. He makes the play and the inning's over. 4 or higher. We got another run. And we got another run. It's going to drop for a base hit. Is it a single or a double? It will be a single. So a single for Champion, RBI single. And that's 2 runs on Caldwell. And the score is now 8-2. And here's Winfield. 3-3, strikeout 14, too high. 2-1, star 6. That's a ground ball to first, and Bench will take it to the bag himself. But 2 runs come in, and it is an 8-2 ball game. Not going to do anything weird for the 7th inning stretch. No music, no nothing. Just straight out playing. Very vanilla, analog, whatever you want to call it. And the new pitcher for San Diego. We'll see who they want to go to. These are the available choices. We have Vic Bernal. We have Tom Griffin. We have Rick Sawyer. We have Butch Metzger, who will later go to the Cardinals. We have Raleigh Fingers. And the one lefty is Dave Tomlin. So in an 8-2 game, you would think you'd go maybe for some scrubs. So what scrub do we want to go with? Also want to go with somebody that can pitch 2 innings, maybe not waste the bullpen. So they are going to go to Tom Griffin. Tom Griffin will take over on the mound. Randy Jones went 7 innings, and he gave up two runs, which were earned. How many hits to give it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits off of Randy Jones. He walked 1, which was intentional, and he walked a run here. So it's 2 walks, 1 intentional. I don't think he struck out 1. That was it. Not much of a walk or strikeout guy. That is for sure. So Griffin is in. And he will bat in the number 9 position, which probably won't come up again. You never know, but it probably won't. And leading things off for Cincinnati will be Cesar Geronimo, followed by Johnny Bench and Pete Rose. 8-2 Padres. Five, 6. That's a strikeout chance. 9 got him. Geronimo out on strikes. 1 away. Here's Johnny Bench. 1-4. That's a strikeout. 6 got him. I think I made the right move in the bullpen. What do you think? 2 strikeouts in a row. And that brings up Pete Rose. He's 0 for 3. 4-3 is a blank. We go to Rose. 2-3, and that's a single to right field. So a 2-out single for Rose. Brings up Ken Griffey. 3-6 is a blank. We go to Griffey. 1-1, that is a ground ball to second against the right-hander. And that's going to end the inning. So we played 7 here in Cincinnati. It's 8-2 San Diego. Caldwell back out for another round. And he'll be facing Hendrick. Sparky really doesn't want to go to another bullpen arm if he don't have to. Here's Hendrick. 3-6, that's a blank. We go to Hendrick's card. That's a 5-3. It's a star 4, which is a ground ball to Rose at third base. 1 away. Brings up Gene Tennis. 1-5. That's a walk plus. So yet another base on balls issued by Reds pitching. Puts Tennis on for Mike Ivey. 1-1. Strikeout 4. Got him. 2 down for Doug Rader. Rader is homered in the game. See what he can do against Caldwell. In fact, he struck out against Caldwell when Caldwell first came in. So looking for a better result. 2-4 is a single, but he's not tired, so there's no, it's just a blank. 3-6, he's going to line it to short. Concepcion is there. Innings over. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Still a comfortable 8-2 lead for San Diego. Griffin can face 10 batters. He's only faced 4. So he's in good shape there. It'll be Morgan, Foster, and Concepcion if anybody gets on, a pinch hitter for Caldwell. 4-3 is a blank. We go to Morgan. 4-5, and that's a ground ball to first. Handled by Ivy. Takes to the bag himself. 1 away for George Foster. 4-2, and that's a blank. 3-2, it's a star 1, and that is a fly to left. 2 down. Another thing you won't see on this channel is rolling dice when there are already dice in the tray. I have a virgin tray when I roll dice. I don't want any impediments. I'm not bouncing dice off anything. 3-5. That's a strikeout chance. 3 got him. So he struck him out to end the inning. So Griffin, 2 shutout innings so far. In fact, he qualifies for a save if he can get that final 3 outs. He would qualify for the save by going 3 innings. So nothing doing there. Caldwell back out, and he will face Allman, the pitcher spot, but they might go ahead and let Griffin hit. With the big lead, they're going to go ahead and let Griffin hit. No sense taking him out. So it's going to be Allman to lead it off. Five, 2, and that's a blank. 6-1, and against a lefty, that's a double to left field for Billy Allman. A leadoff double. And now the pitcher Griffin is up. 8-2, I'm not going to worry about bunting. We're just going to have him swing away. Doesn't matter at this point. 5-4 is a blank. We go to Griffin's card. 4-4, and he's going to double to left. Look at that. A double to left field, back-to-back doubles. And one person in the stream is sensing a rigging, but can't help it. That's what the cards say. Here's Gene Richards. 4-3, blank. We go to Richards. 3-5, and that's a power result to center. Up to 14, that's a 2. It'll be a base hit. Base hit center field. Griffin only runs at a 1. Geronimo is a -1 arm. Run on second to score from first is a +1. So it has to be a 1 for him to score. And it's not. It's a 6. A chance he can get thrown out on a -1 arm. That's a 5. So a -1 arm, a 5, means he holds. So he will hold at third base. And now let's see, as Caldwell is tired, obviously. So I guess they're going to have to pull Caldwell just so they don't get any more embarrassed, and they'll bring in Pedro Bourbon. No double switch. Pitcher spot's going to lead off, but that doesn't really matter at this point. They'll just pinch hit for him in the 9th. But right now it's going to be Pedro Bourbon. He is the 5th pitcher used by the Reds. Pedro Bourbon facing Champion. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Infield back for the double play. They need outs. Runs are irrelevant at this point. We're looking at outs. 1-1 is a blank. He really needs a strikeout and didn't get it. 6-3, it's a ground ball to second. Possible double play. He's a 1-0. Halfway makes it a 2. And the shortstop pivot, Concepcion's a +1, makes it a 3. So 1-3, they turn it to 4-6-3 double play. And they do. 4-6-3 double play. The run will score, but at least they get 2 outs. Scoring is the pitcher, Griffin. 2 runs are in. It is now 10-2. But at least there are 2 outs and the bases are clear for Winfield. 5-6 is a strikeout. 16 too high. Go to Winfield. 1-6 fly to center. That's going to end the inning. But 2 more runs for the Padres, and they take a 10-2 lead into the bottom of the 9th. Pinch hitter for the Reds as Bourbone's spot is up. So the Reds will go to a pinch hitter off their bench, and they will go to Champ Summers. They want a left-hander, but they don't have much on the bench, but they're going with Champ Summers. Champ Summers will pinch hit for Cincinnati to lead off the bottom of the 9th. Champ Summers. So Summers will lead it off against Griffin for 3, and that is a walk plus. So Summers will draw the base on balls. So Summers is aboard, and that'll send up Plummer, followed by Geronimo and bench. Plummer 0 for 3. I don't know, Ernest. It's just a curse right now. I don't get it. I haven't had a close game in a while, and I can't figure out why. 4-6 is a possible error on a throw. 4-1, ground ball to third. That's a 5. That'll be an error on Mr. Rader because he's an 8. So it will be a throwing error. We have to figure out where the throw's going to, first of all, see if it's a possible double play or whatever. So Plummer's double play rating's a 1, 0 here. So it'll be a 1-2 for a double play. Let's see if he's going to throw to second or no, he's going to throw it to first. So the receiver at first base is Ivy. He's a 2. And he blocks the throw. So it's going to be an error, but it's only going to be the one base error. So E5 on Raider, and now each team with an error. Puts 2 on, nobody out for Cesar Geronimo. Griffin to Geronimo. 2-6, that's a home run question mark. 1-8 for lefties. That's a 3, it passes. Geronimo needs a 5 or less to hit the home run. He does, that's a 1. So Cesar Geronimo, a 3-run home run off of Griffin. And the Reds finally get some runs, but there's nobody left in Riverfront to enjoy them. 3-run home run, and that's going to be all for Griffin. He's done. Johnny Bench will be coming on to hit, but the Padres will bring on another relief pitcher as Griffin is reached his fatigue limit. Score is now 10-5, and they will bring in a right-hander, and just for the heck of it, they'll bring in, even though it's not a safe situation, they'll bring in Raleigh Fingers. So Raleigh Fingers is on. Try to close things down, not let it get out of hand. It's a 10-5 game. Still nobody out. And here's Johnny Bench. 2-4, and that's a blank. We go to bench. And that's a 5-4, and that is a star 4, which turns out to be a ground ball to third. So Raider makes the play, 1 down for Pete Rose. That's a 1-1, strikeout chance 12, too high. 2-6, and that is going to be a star 3. It's a fly to right field. Winfield is there, 2 down. Last chance saloon for Ken Griffey. He's 0 for 4. Possible error on a ground ball. Whoop, that white dot didn't go through. Let's redo that again. 5-4. That's a pop out to second, so no ground ball to worry about. That's going to end the inning and the ball game. Cincinnati does get 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th off of Tom Griffin, but it's far too little. And the Padres win it by the score of 10-5. Winning pitcher is Randy Jones. Losing pitcher is Fryman. I'm not worried about the pitcher stats. Let's look at the hits in the game. Let's see, for San Diego, they got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hits for San Diego. 10, 15, and 1 for the Padres. Now, I know the Reds got 7 hits through 6 innings against Randy Jones. They got a hit here and a hit here. That's 2 more hits, so a total of 9 hits for the Reds. So 10 runs, 15 hits, and 1 error for San Diego. 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the Cincinnati Reds. So on opening day, an inside pitch, it is the Padres spoiling the home opener in Riverfront Stadium by the score of 10-5. Now, Brian, I'm not doing every game replay, so it's just a one-off. So I believe there's an off day between the next game and this game and the next game. So just getting him some work. It's about 162 games, basically. I'm playing one game every day. Just picking a game of the day, whatever looks good on that particular day. Now, I've got the schedule all set up for the first week or so. So the game for April the 7th is Pittsburgh at St. Louis, John Denny against Jerry Royce. In fact, I'll show all the games I have pre-planned. That's the next game, is Pittsburgh and St. Louis. On April the 8th, we have Atlanta at Houston, Andy Messersmith against J.R. Richard. That's the April 8th game. April 9th, it is Montreal at Philadelphia, Steve Rogers against Steve Carlton. That's the opener for both of these teams on April the 9th. April the 10th, we got the Mets and the Cubs, John Matlack against Rick Russell. April the 11th, we have Atlanta and Los Angeles, Frank LaCourte against Tommy John. April the 12th, we're back to San Diego and San Francisco because I haven't done San Francisco yet. So the first game to see San Francisco. It'll be Lynn McLaughlin for the Giants and Randy Jones again for the Padres, but this time back in San Diego. And then on April 13th, it is Cincinnati at Houston. It is Jack Billingham for the Reds against Joaquin Andujar for the Astros. And that's the schedule I've got between the April the 8th and April the 7th and April the 13th. Those are the games that are scheduled. I'll play those games on live stream. I will use the Strat computer to sim the other games. I will manually enter this game in the Strat computer so that these are recorded so the running total for Stratomatic will include this game. So that's the way I'm going to try to run it. Hopefully, by doing that, I can get this done before too long. Most games I'm only going to play one a day. So tonight again is Kansas City and Toronto from Kansas City. Stratomatic 1987 Super Advanced. Joe Johnson for the Blue Jays against Charlie Liebrandt for the Royals. That'll be tonight, roughly around 8:30ish. And then I'm not sure when I'm going to do the St. Louis-Pittsburgh game. Might do it Saturday. I haven't decided yet. Possible I might do it Saturday. Have to wait and see. But this game is in the books. Oh, you're right. 180 days. I didn't think about that. You are absolutely correct. It is every day on the calendar, so it will be 180 games. You are correct. Or however many it is for the whole thing. You are correct on that, Brian B. Absolutely correct. So unfortunately, and I believe you said this, Brian B., that the Reds typically no matter what year it is, they typically underperform on inside pitch, and we don't know why. It just seems to be a thing. Maybe it's a bias or something. I don't know, but the Reds just never seem, and the players are never rated. Like Geronimo's a 4. I mean, he should be a 5 probably, but he's always been a 4, never been a 5, or hardly ever been a 5. Joe Morgan being a 2 range at second, it seems to me kind of low, but I'm not going to question his ratings. I'm sure he's got a system he uses. This game is for fun. I'm not worried about, now Stratomatic, I'll worry about the statistical accuracy a whole lot more than that. This is more of a fun project. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. At least they won something. All right. So be sure to tune in to RJL's World Series 1983, Tigers and Dodgers. I believe it's Game 5 coming up in that. Not sure if it's inside pitch or if it's Fall Classic. I'm not sure what his rotation is. But tonight, again, Stratomatic Super Advanced 1987, roughly 8:30 Eastern, will be the Blue Jays and the Royals. So thank you all for spending part of your Thursday afternoon with me. I was off today, a rare day off. I don't get a whole lot of days off, but did take today off. as I had yesterday and today off, but I'm back to work tomorrow. And of course, I'll have Saturday off as well. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.